Hello guys, welcome to the vlog. My name is Apollonia. In today's video we're going to watch a video about that girl called Onyeka. I know you've had that viral story on TikTok about the Danish deception, and yeah, after watching it again I actually came up with a different view on this. I feel like she's a victim and also enabler. Yeah, she enabled this guy to scam him, something like that. But yeah, Americans had some different views, and also they really came for her, like I feel like kind of too hard. But yeah, I guess, you know, most African will come to you like that if you do something stupid. And yeah, there was some sort of stupidity in this whole story. And yeah, I'm gonna share you some videos of Americans going crazy on her. And I feel like you know, I don't think there's need of shaming her or something, because I feel like she feels already ashamed. And what I just want to say is that thanks to her for sharing this story, because it's going to open eyes. It's going to open eyes of many women that you know, go to relationships like this blindly. And you know, this story will play a very big part, you know, of opening women eyes, yeah, and teaching young women that, you know, not everything that glitters is gold, yeah. So yeah, I hope you're going to enjoy this video. Let me put those clips here and we'll talk at the end.
She was scammed out of over $500,000 by her soulmate, and she shared this story on TikTok, calling it the Danish deception. It all started in 2022 when ONYEKA met this tall, charming, I have royal ties Danish guy at a beach club in Croatia. Instant chemistry. He flew her to Monaco, paid for luxury hotels, took her to Saint-Tropez, the whole fairy tale. She fell hard, told him she loved him, he said it back, and then that's when things got dark, because suddenly his millions were tied up, the IRS froze his accounts, and he just needed a small loan. $6,000 turned into tens of thousands, while they were planning a life together, even marriage and a green card. But when she visited his family in Denmark, nothing matched his stories. Then she learned he had a massive gambling addiction and had already borrowed $200,000 from her friend's husband, then money from her friends, even $3,000 from her little sister. Every loan came with a new lie, and when he couldn't lie anymore, he simply asked for a divorce and disappeared. Only after he left did she realize the full scale of the cheating, gambling, manipulation, and the $300,000 hole he left behind. She didn't post his name or picture, but the internet did what the internet does, and they found him.
So you're telling me your ex-husband scammed you out of $50,000 and then scammed your sister, your friends, your coworkers, and your parents? Not only did he scam y'all for thousands of dollars, but he also got a green card. Why didn't anyone Google him? If a man is telling me that he owns properties, I'm Googling it. If a man tells me that he was in the Olympics, I'm Googling him. Why didn't anyone Google him? When she asked his family if they were really royalty, I lost it. And I 100% agree with a lot of people's takes where they're saying that he would have never gotten this far if he was a black man. If this was a black man asking her for some money 6 weeks into the relationship, she would have broken up with him. There's no way they would have made it to marriage. I will say that this story time was very entertaining. I was sad. I truthfully hope Netflix or Tyler Perry picks this up.
She forgot to tell y'all one very important detail, which is she wanted mixed babies and her mom and dad wanted mixed grandbabies. But you had on blue eyes and blonde hair colored shades, so that's all you could see is the genetics. You were like, ooh, these genetics are gonna eat down. $5,000? Not a problem. The genetics are gonna eat. And your mom and dad were like, oh, are you both grandbabies are coming? Or you both grandbabies are coming in the house? Are you daft? Are you taking a piss, fam? What do you mean? You send that man your passport details. Are you mad? And if you're not Nigerian, Ghanaian, African, like, you may need to sit out in the comments and let the Africans explain to you what I'm talking about. Because what do you mean your mom and dad were offering to pay for the traditional and this and that and that and the third? Typically, the bride's family is not forking up a motherfucking dime for a wedding. And don't insert Temi or Tedala. Don't talk about rich people. That's different. Like, my daughter's gonna have what they have different. Typically, the groom is showing up with a dowry. You're paying my dad for raising me, my mom for taking care of me, all that stuff. You're paying my cousins for playing with me. You're paying my uncles for You're paying people just to take me out the home. Like, you're taking the prize out of the home, so you're paying. In no world is anybody from the bride's family paying for a canopy, a plastic chair, a schnapp, a goat, nothing. The bride's family is not forking up a dime. So the fact that her mom and dad were willing to pay for whatever crazy work, okay? Also, we would never be here if this man was black, African, person of color, whatever, because you would have never lent him $1, let alone 5, 10, 15, 20,000, 30, however much you ended up loaning him. A black man would have never been brave enough to go ask your friends, husbands and stuff for money. They most especially wouldn't have given it to him. I'm not even making this up. I don't know this girl from Adam, never met her, and I dare her to come on here and say I'm lying. If this man was black, if this man was African, if this man was from your damn tribe, from your same village, we wouldn't be here because you wouldn't even look at him, let alone send your passport fucking details. What do you mean? You know why you really lost me? When you had the nerve to talk about something, you were going to the village and he was packing a Rolex watch and you were like, do you know where you're going? We're going to the village. They're going to rob you. Oh, whoa. Now you're trying to stop the hustle of your people. I'm kidding. Now, they definitely would have robbed his ass. But the reason he was bringing that watch is he knew it wasn't motherfucking real. But honestly, though, yeah, just say you wanted mixed babies and we will let it go. But you coming on here. Oh, and I have the nerve to talk about something. I took his passport so he couldn't leave, huh? I see you posting about you finally left him and you have peace. No, my love, he left you. How he leave you? Also, very brave of you to be taking trips when you owe somebody money. People are like, oh, she's an African. How did it? Because she's not an African. She's an Africant. Every time I saw you tuck your braids behind your ears, I knew what time it was. Crypto and Kryptonisha, you could have never been in the living room talking about, oh my God, we're going to fix this. If that was a black man, you would have detached. You would have removed yourself from the situation. I don't know how you came to the conclusion of royal title and $400,000 pay. My sister, if somebody has a $400,000 pay job, they don't borrow $3,000 from you. Hello? Amen? The family is rich. The family is rich. Royal titles. Oh, he kept showing me screenshots and emails. You ever heard of Fiverr? You ever heard of Canva? You ever heard of any type of editing app, tool, PixArt? Email, girl, I could create an email right now. Esquire, who, JD from who. Send over an email. Yeah. Tax document, this, that. That's what you saw? How was the apartment that you Googled that wasn't his apartment already not sending you in the deep end? Oh, he's going to sell the 2 apartments in Copenhagen. They don't exist, my love. The business account doesn't exist. And after all that, he left you? Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay.
He has saved me once again, because the minute that a rich white man would have started asking me, my family, or my friends for some money, ooh, baby, that would have been a wrap, because we ain't got it.
I watched somebody say that they don't think race had anything to do with what happened in the Danish deception, and I completely disagree. I don't even think race was a background detail. I think it's the structure that made this entire situation possible. Literally, the whole time I watched this 25-part series, I kept asking myself, how is this possible? How did he get away with all of this? And in the end, the only conclusion that made sense was that his race had everything to do with it. For ONYEKA, this wasn't simply about being misled. It was shaped by her personal relationship to her blackness, and maybe even the racial messages she absorbed growing up in an African immigrant household. She wasn't just dealing with a man, she was dealing with years of conditioning that whiteness is safer, it's more desirable, more trustworthy. You could see it in how she was describing this man in the beginning of this series, and also how she adapted herself when she was around him. In almost every single picture that I have seen of them together, her hair was straightened. For many black women with low racial self-esteem, straightening their hair around white partners is not just a style choice. In many cases, it's an attempt to fit this Eurocentric standard that they've been taught is more acceptable and more lovable. And this conditioning doesn't come from nowhere. As an African myself, I know that many African immigrant families associate whiteness with competence. This is something I've witnessed firsthand. For example, when I was volunteering at a hospital in Ethiopia, patients would literally point out that their doctors or surgeons were white, in a way to like calm their nerves and also reassure themselves that the care that they were receiving would be successful. This type of automatic trust teaches children way before they even start dating that whiteness equals safety and expertise. So when a white, blonde, blue-eyed European man showed interest in her, it wasn't just romance. It activated layers of messaging that were curated through years of conditioning. This is why I think the warning signs didn't land the way that they should have. I don't even think it was because she was naive. I think that it might have been because she was socialized to lower her guard around whiteness. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I truly do believe that if a non-white man had behaved the same exact way, the red flags would have been noticed immediately. So no, the story was not racially neutral. It was shaped with her individual struggle with racial self-esteem and also maybe the desire to be seen favorably through a white gaze. Also, I'm aware that there are a lot of other structures that allowed everything to unfold the way that it did, but I just wanted to highlight the racial frameworks in this video.
And you know what else is crazy? People saying, oh, don't victim blame. She's not a victim. Guys, somebody, a white man with blue eyes and blonde hair comes to you and says, I am a millionaire. I am royalty. Then the next thing he says is, I need $6,000. Are we victim blaming or are we common sense pointing outing? Which one is it? Like, I feel like the internet loves to do all these like internet-y things like, oh, you don't understand. If somebody comes to me and says, I am rich, go buy a Chanel bag, then 2 days later comes back and says, I need $6,000. I know this is a scheme set up by Todd. Hello? Mind you, this girl, she wasn't even like in her early 20s. If she was like in her late teens, early 20s, I could understand. Homegirl's in her late 30s. You work in real estate, which means you verify people's funds before they let them buy houses. Girl, no funny. I would not even trust you to, I don't want to buy no house from you. Because common sense is running very far from you. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, he deceived you. He deceived you in the same way that people call our phones every day trying to run a scam, telling us that, you know, we owe something on our Verizon bill, etc. What do? You hang up the call. This wasn't that. This wasn't that. And another thing, her allowing this man into her life. Guys, think about it really well, right? When your friend or your sister or your cousin gets a boyfriend, you don't go vetting him. You assume that your relative, your cousin, your whatever, did the work to vet him herself before she allowed him come into your family. So she cost her family all that money. Hello? Hello? What's not clicking? What's not clicking? Like, this isn't about no victim blaming. What millionaire needs $6,000? I think that was the first amount of money that she said that he asked for. What millionaire needs 6,000 US dollars? None. Girl, you work in real estate. Are you serious? You're in your late 20s. Are you serious? You're Igbo. And let's talk about that Igbo-ness of yours. You go to the village, which means you know. There's nobody, there's no Igbo person. First of all, going to the village is such an active thing to do. It's such an active process. You gotta get to Lagos. You gotta hire a bus or get on another plane. Get to your village. Go through. Your parents will tell you, don't greet that auntie. Don't let that person touch you. Don't pick up money from the floor. Don't eat that person's food. Like, it's such an active experience. It's not something that you just do and then you just come back to Dallas and you don't know, like, you know the tease. You know a scam. You know to stay away from that cousin, but let that cousin close. You know the vibes. I'm Igbo. Stop playing. So I think she knew she was getting scammed. She was giving him the money to cover it all up. You know? And she liked the idea of him and this white man being together. She knew he was funny style. She didn't mind as long as he was on her arm. The second he gets off her arm, now you're stealing passports and stuff. Sometimes, guys, people are just dumb. And come on the internet and just say, hey guys, I am dumb and this is what I did. Because don't come up here telling me this guy, he overly scammed you. He was so manipulative. He was such a genius. No, he's not. There's no genius millionaire that needs $6,000 from me. That's the first one. First, I'll say, wow. What's more proof? Proof that he's a millionaire or proof that he asked me for 6K? Are we catching the vibes? And another thing, her saying, oh, you know, I wanted to show him that I wasn't here for his money. What do you mean? If a man tells you he has money, you enjoying the money is not you using him. It's you enjoying the thing that he has. I got jokes. If somebody says, oh, Chi, I don't want you to think I'm with you because you're funny, then why else would you be with me? I got plenty of jokes. Come and get one. Like, you, like, really deconstruct why you did this, why you, Onyeka, Anika, why you did this to your family and friends. Deconstruct it. Because yeah, that man had a part to play, but girl, you had a bigger one. And that's why I always say, when you meet a man, when you're dealing with a man, tell yourself the story of how you guys met and how the relationship is going like a storybook. I've said this already. Don't leave out any details. Don't do ups and downs. Don't skip past. Say it the first day we did it, second day we did it. Because guess what? Once you start saying it to yourself, I'll even do you a better one. Record yourself while you're saying it. Then you can get to the tease of what's going on. Because a lot of people like to play victim instead of just saying, actually, I wasn't that much of a victim. What lady in her late 20s hears that a man is a millionaire, that you can fly all across Europe, but then in the same breath you need 6K? Could make sense, rah. So lady, that's why everybody's blaming you, because we're not dumb. Like, I'm not gonna play this internet game of like, oh yeah, but hold on. No, but nothing. There's no millionaire that's gonna ask me for $6,000. And that's just that on that. Okay, bye guys.
So we have all heard of the Nigerian prince scammer, but who's ever heard of a Danish prince scammer? What the hell? There's this trending story called the Danish Deception, where this lady says her husband scammed her and her family out of $350 or so thousand. Yeah? She met this dude randomly and she fell in love with him. And he said he's a Danish prince or royalty. He was an Olympian, only to find out that this dude is a gambling addict with nothing but his height and his Lord Farquaad face.
Danish deception? The only thing deceptive is how the hell y'all taking all these trips. There's a trip in every part, a trip or two, in fact. Monaco, Paris, Broken Bow, Cartagena. What? Where y'all get all this money from? Ain't now dollar in his account, but yet y'all catching flights. 34 cents in the account, but you in a villa somewhere. Catching flights and fraud charges, flights and tax bills. And you just soaking it up, believing every minute of it. And crypto and Cryptisha, they better than me, because you'd have been hearing from my lawyer. How you catching all these flights and you owe me bread, 200 bands, and you in a villa, feet up? I ain't gonna lie, once somebody start having too many troubles, I'd be like, okay, you just, I ain't trying to have you rub off on me. Your daddy got cancer, your mama back broke, your back hurting, you done lost all your money, you getting this coming through, your insurance bill. No, you got too much going on right now. You need to figure that out. I don't want your woes to rub off on me. I'ma go about my business.
That motherfucker took $30,000 from me. Keep in mind, he still owes me $6,000 at this point. He said, can you send me $5,000? After some time, he talks me into loaning him the $15,000. I end up loaning him an additional $3K, not even a week after I had already given him $15K. I remember I gave him like a small amount, maybe like $3,000. We ended up going to Portugal for a week. We used my credit cards the majority of this trip. Your ex owes my husband $200,000. And I saw that there was a cash advance for $7,000. My little sister looks at me and she says, he took $3K from me. I find another friend that he owed $10,000 to. My coworkers that I used to work with, husband gave him $10,000 to. And what was in his account? 34 cents.
So as you heard, guys, these guys are not easy on this girl. And oh my god. Sometimes this is what I feel like most people are afraid to come out with their stories, because they're going to be attacked. And yeah, she was devoured. She was attacked by so many women, especially black women. And I feel like, instead of attacking her, I feel like we should just teach the lessons that were to be learned. Because I feel like it's more like, societal, what do you call, problem, when it comes to race, yeah? And if she was raised and went to school with white people, probably she had that, feeling of wanting to be picked, yeah? Because she grew up with white girls who always were picked, and probably she was not picked, and hence becoming a pick-me like this and doing something stupid like this. So I feel like we need to cut her some slack, I think it's societal. And also, as you can see, it's not only her, also the family was also, kind of pick-me family or something like this. And I think they also contributed as a family. Like, how would a guy that I'm about to marry borrow money from my family? And I don't know. I feel like that was wrong for this matter. I think like the family should have done better, But anyway, what can you say? It already happened. And yeah, here we are learning lessons, learning new lessons. And I hope you learned something today. Please share this video to someone that you think might benefit from this. And yeah, see you in the next video. Bye-bye.